So I remember clearly when my boss told me a couple of years ago when I had a boss, and yeah, he tried to lose some weight, and yeah, at some point he said something that amused me. Oh yeah, he said he couldn't do intermittent fasting because he had no time for that. Which is obviously not, it is not true because you're doing less of something. You're spending less time eating. Therefore, you have more time for other things. So that was obviously, must have been a joke. So I was laughing. And he said, you know what? You don't need to laugh right now. One day you're going to be 32 and you're going to be fat and you're going to be chubby and you're going to be unsported and you're going to hate your life with 2 kids and a job and like all these things. You're going to hate that shit. You're going to look like trash. Just wait for it. Wait until you're my age. It's one of my favorite sayings is wait until you are my age. Well, now I'm 34 and obviously I'm not chubby. I'm in pretty good shape and I'm pretty strong. I'm even stronger than 8 years ago. So let's talk a little bit about how I did that. So what we have here is an article that goes by the title, How I Hit PRs All the Time and How You Can Too. The article is written by John Fung. This gentleman right here. I highly recommend following him on every channel. I will put them in the description. He is very strong and he figured something out. So he figured out essentially, there's the essence of this article. The main point is the PR table. And yeah, it goes like this. You have an exercise selection that you do. And every time you hit a new weight with that exercise, you put the weight in the cell for the according repetition. Let's say you did 9 repetitions of squats. Then with 100 kilos, then you put the 100 kilos in this cell for the 9 repetitions. If you do in the next workout 110 kilos with 9 repetitions or at 9 repetitions, you overwrite the 100 and put 110 inside. And that's the PR table. That's the basic idea. And yeah, the only obvious flaw to that is, of course, that when you're overwriting the values constantly, that you don't really track how your strength develops over time. And I just made a slight adjustment to that table to fix that. And besides that, using the exact same table, again, I highly checking out his channel. He's very strong. And I found his principles very much applicable to someone who is not a professional weightlifter, not a professional bodybuilder, not a professional sportsman at all, who's just trying to improve himself constantly in the gym, getting stronger, getting more performant, and so on and so forth. So before we talk a little bit more about the table, I think it's important to note some principles that you are highly advised to follow to make the table work. So number 1 is full body training, which is a result of the scientific finding, at least last time I checked. When you're a natural bodybuilder, weightlifter, sportsman, and you do weight training with a certain muscle, you trigger protein synthesis within that muscle for 48 hours, meaning you can train that muscle every other day, technically, right? When you do now conventional split training or bro split, as it seems, or as it is called, you only hit your muscle once a week. And this doesn't really work for sportsmen who are natural because, again, your protein synthesis is 48 hours after the stimulus, and then it goes down, meaning you let a lot of potential for growth on the road, right? The only people who are basically built or meant to have success with a split training or any kind of training where you train the muscle once a week are people who are on drugs or highly gifted with the divine genetics from God, or both. Natural sportsmen usually don't have the capacity and the hormone levels to actually do that. So therefore, we stick to the natural plan and we do full body workouts every other day, or if we need to, have more than one rest day in between workouts. That leads me to the second principle in that way, which is called periodization. I hate that word. Periodization, which just means basically you have to switch up things a little bit, right? You cannot do the exact same exercises in the exact same order, the exact same way all the time, because at some point, any advanced lifter knows that you hit a plateau, meaning it doesn't matter if you sleep perfectly and eat perfectly and just have the perfect habits all together. At some point you plateau. You just don't progress anymore. You don't get stronger and you're not able to squeeze out more reps with the same weight. It's just not possible anymore because your body adjusted to that. That's another thing that people on drugs don't struggle with as much. The other thing would be that also plays into periodization is the pyramid style of training, meaning the intuitive training approach. And I think with these three principles nailed down, I can go into my actual table and show you exactly how I put the principles that I just mentioned into actual practice. So let's go into the actual concurrent training table. That would be my table. And it has a very similar structure. Excuse the German right here. Übung means exercise. And the only adjustment is when you check again. So you have the exercise rows and the repetition columns. And the adjustment I made, I put the dates into consideration. So we still have the exercises and we still have the repetitions scheme, so to speak. But we also have a date. So as you see here, I did 120 kilos of sumo for 1 repetition, 5 reps with 100 kilos, so on and so forth, as I described before. Then then I had 1 day in between the next workout, 1 day rest in between the next workout. And then 2 days later, I realized like 3 exercises not enough, of course. And I added 2 more. I added the incline dumbbell press and the chin-ups. And those ones were fresh, meaning I didn't have any data for them. So as you see, it's all bold. And bold means on that particular day, in that particular cell, this was a PR. That's the first time I hit this repetition column with this weight for that exercise, if it makes sense. So for example, let's take squats with the pause at the bottom. If I, at a workout, I see that's a normal 80 at the 8 reps. And if I, for this exercise, hit this rep scheme, 8 repetitions with, let's say, 100 kilos, I would put in 100, of course, and then make it bold. I hope that works now. Yeah, it does work. Right? And now you see over time, that's the exact workout I stuck to for a while. And within the next workout, I had 2 days rest in between. And this is how you see I progress, right? So we have 100 kilos instead of 90, bold. That's the same. I might not even hit that weight with, I might not even hit 6 repetitions with some weight, right? So it's all very intuitive because on each day, you just see how you feel. On some days, you just might feel not so strong, so you don't go for the heavy weights. You go for other weights. You literally look into your table and say, okay, like I don't have any data for 20 repetitions. So that's an easy one. I could literally go and say, okay, I do squats now with, let's say, like 20 kilos, just the bar, 20 kilos. Boop, boop. And this would be, because there was no data before, this would be a PR. This would be a legitimate PR right here. Boom. Make it bold. Success. Right? So that's the big principle about it. And the funny thing is, I think you notice that when you're in the gym, before you go to the gym, you might not feel as good. You might feel weak. You might be like, I don't want to work out today. The workout's going to be trash anyway. But when you're in the gym, for some miraculous reason, you're stronger than before. You see how you're actually stronger than before, and you could actually kill it on that particular day. On other days, you feel really well before the gym. Then you're in the gym, and as you work out, you feel like, man, the fuel is not there today. So that is why I like this intuitive approach of you really honestly, genuinely see how you feel on that day and what form you are on that particular day. And there you go. And so you constantly progress. It is impossible to not progress. I will talk about these two rows, these two exercises, in this particular case, a little bit more in a second. But ignore these for a second and just look at the upper three. And you see there's no workout. There is no workout where I do not progress in any of these. I progress in all of these three exercises in every workout until a certain point, which comes here. I mean, I still progress a little bit, but I could feel that over time, as I moved with this exercise selection and the exercise order and so on and so forth, I could feel that I don't progress as much anymore. I could feel that my body got accustomed to this particular workout already. Even though I go intuitively every from workout to workout, really how I feel, even though my nutrition is on point, my sleep is good, like all these things, I don't progress anymore. I'm approaching a plateau here. I could feel that. So I decided to switch it up and choose another exercise selection after roughly a month, or let's say like 25 days, a little bit more than 3 weeks. And then I go with the new exercise selection. And as you can see, zero data for any of these. So everything is a PR basically, right? And so I progress. And I had the same story again. And at some point, yeah, I think a month later or something, same story again, no progress. There was one workout with zero progress at all. So I know, that's the latest point where I know right here that it's time to change. And then, rinse and repeat. So the point is now to have at least 3 to 4, at least 3 different routines that you just cycle through. And then over time, you just collect the data and you realize that then the squats at the pause at the bottom, they come again. And then once you cycle through certain routines, you realize, that once the exercises come again, that you get actually stronger over time. You actually get stronger in a certain exercise, even though you didn't do this exercise for months sometimes before. You progress. You have no choice but to progress. Now, what is debatable, of course, when you look at my particular exercise selection and my particular routines, this is all freestyle. I have a feeling there's a lot of room for improvement when it comes to this and to the exercise selection. But this is just how I went. And then you even see that for a year or something, or half a year, I just stopped tracking. I was just too lazy tracking everything. But I started now again, and I have the same story as above. The final point I want to talk about is how to actually plan a workout on a particular day based on the data you collected before that. So let's look at this. Okay, so let's take the workout for this particular day where you see the workout did not happen, and you see that because there's no bold numbers here. So this is how I actually go. I take a workout day after I collected all the data and made everything bold. Just copy it and take it over to the next workout day. Like in this case, this is... Oh, look, there's a mistake. It's a mistake in here. Boop, boop. So in this case, this is like one rest day in between. And this would be the day where I actually want to have the next workout. So what I'm going to do is I look at the cells, and this is before the workout. I now consciously prepare myself for the upcoming workout. And then I look and I say, okay, this was pretty heavy to actually choose that weight for this exercise. For me, of course. This actually too. So when I look at next time at barbell rows, I did 80 kilos in the past. I could try to, if I really feel shitty, I could choose 80 kilos and try to fill 8 repetitions with 80 kilos, which is likely to happen since I already did 9 repetitions with 80 kilos, right? But I don't know. It feels a little bit like I could either go higher from this point. You could also go to 90 kilos and try to fill these, or even up to here. Or you just go and say, you know what? This was heavy. This was heavy too. I think I just take try to make the 25 repetitions just to fill these. So take any weight. Again, just the bar would be enough for that, right? Next thing would be the incline barbell press. And again, I went light this time. So the next time I would try to do 80 kilos because there is none. The highest weight I have in this row is 70. So I would go and maybe aim for 80 kilos at 4 or something like that. We will see. As in a moment I touch 80 kilos, I take 80 kilos into my hands, I'm already winning. That's the beauty of it. I have no pressure at all. When I imagine the workout, it is doable, so I'm not demotivated or scared or something. Even before I actually enter the gym, I know what I want to do. I know this is actually doable. And I know I'm still progressing, so I'm actually looking forward to the gym. I'm actually looking forward to finally hit it. Get a pump, and all these things. So how I like to write things down in the gym, you can take anything. I just realized that the Excel sheet, like this one, because it's just not fit really to the phone, right? So what I did is I take the numbers that I just mentioned and go to my little memos. This is some note-taking application that you can host yourself. And if you want to, I'll make another video about that. But that's not the point for now. I just make a little note into my memos, which I then can watch on my phone and have every exercise as a hashtag so I can filter them through later if I wanted to. And here's all the kilos and all the, this is my goal for the upcoming exercise or the upcoming workout. In numbers. It's just the numbers I mentioned before, written down in a note. So again, lunges, I can do 20 kilos for 20. For the barbell rows, and I can do 60 kilos 20 times. All I mentioned. I said before I could do 80 kilos of incline barbell press at 4 repetitions. And this is what you see right here. And this is how I would actually plan a workout. And then during the workout, I would write down if I needed to. If I hit my exact goal, I wouldn't need to write anything down because it's already written down. But if I do something else, if I go crazy, for example, and I feel super strong and I hit like 90 kilos, I do my 4 reps of 80, cool. And then I feel like this is not it. I could go harder actually because I feel really good on that particular day. Then I could just choose 90. And I would have an extra note for 90, and later after the workout, I would review and put into my Excel sheet and everything. It seems like a lot of work. It's just the most important thing, or the biggest work, was to get the structure right and get accustomed to the structure. But once you know what you're doing, it is really just second nature, and yeah, it really helps. And now I just go to the door. Just to wrap it up, what I really like about the concurrent training approach over traditional split trainings or push-pull legs, something like that, it is not as tight of a core set as the other approaches, training philosophies. Because as long as you don't have more than one rest day in between, you're going to be completely optimal when it comes to the full body protein synthesis. You're going to be fully optimal. If you take more rest days, if you take 2 rest days, or maybe even 3 if needed, it is not too big of a failure. It is not too bad anyways, because you only take rest days because you need to recover, right? And so that overall plays into your progress anyways. So it allows for way more flexibility when it comes to social events, for example. It allows for way more intuition. It allows for way more fun, because I displayed before how to plan a workout, and you see there's so much room to actually go by feeling. There's so much room to go light or go heavy, and you can really go into looking forward into the workout, and when you're there, you really just see how you feel, and it's gonna be fine. And you still sure, even if you go light on 2 days in a row in a particular exercise, or on 2 workout days, you still know that you're progressing. I think that's the beauty of it. It takes the heavy load off your shoulder to force yourself to go to the gym just because the training plan or the training schedule said so. For example, to be fully optimized as a natural who goes goes to the gym for six days a week, you would have to do a push-pull legs, or something similar. For example, you have a push day on Monday, you have a pull day on Tuesday, you have legs on Wednesday. And now the problem with these plans is that if you feel fine, good, perfect. If you don't feel like working out chest on Thursday, you're missing out on something, because you already had 2 rest days for the chest muscles, the push muscles, in between. And now if you take a 3rd rest day, you're missing out on the protein synthesis, right? So you kind of have to go work out on that Thursday, even though you feel like trash and completely beaten up from the workouts before. You still have to do it. So my point with these workouts are not that they are bad or something. It's just, if you're not made for this, if you cannot recover as someone who is genetically gifted and or on drugs, then these programs might not be for you, and or you would have to do 100% of what is bodybuilding right. You would have to sleep your 9 hours, have naps in between the day, eat your 6,000 calories. You have to do everything precisely right, and doing everything right is still no guarantee that you're gonna progress with these programs. And then you would have to switch up things anyways. So we'd have to introduce an element of periodization, switching things up. At some point you do that. A lot of professional bodybuilders, they don't even have programs. They know exactly from their feeling when they have to change what in which way, when they have to change the order of the exercises or the rep range or the exercise itself or something. They know exactly what they have to do, because it's basically their job also to know their body to that degree. And they're able to do because they have the prerequisites, so to speak, for that. So for the natural, normal person with a job or a company and a life besides the gym, the full body concurrent training approach is, from my view, the absolute optimum you can go for. And I would really love to hear from you how you find it. I will, of course, put the Excel sheet in some form, either the Excel sheet itself or make it a Google sheet or something, put it into the description so you can use it right away. And I would love to hear from you if you are able to apply this and how it fits into your life and how you progress with this, with this approach to training. And I think that's it. I'm closing with this. I wish you all a lovely weekend. It's Friday today. It is Friday, 5:13, and I'm ready for the weekend. I hope you too. I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.